Imagine being 28 years old. You eat well, you run on the weekends, and you are in the peak of your physical life. And then, without warning, a doctor says a word you thought was decades away: cancer. For as long as modern medicine has existed, we have thought of cancer as a disease of aging. It was understood as the result of decades of cellular wear and tear, usually appearing in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. This chart tracks cancer diagnoses over the last 20 years. While rates for older demographics stay relatively flat, this red line shows what's happening to people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Doctors are seeing sharp spikes in colorectal, breast, kidney, and pancreatic cancers among young adults. The profile of the average patient has changed. Relying on the old stereotype of who is at risk leaves young, active people without a clear warning until a diagnosis arrives. A logical question arises from these statistics. Do we really have more cancer, or do we just have better technology to find it? Advanced CT scanners and expanded screening programs allow doctors to spot tumors much earlier than they could 50 years ago. Better detection does account for a small portion of these numbers. But even when researchers adjust for more frequent screening, the data proves a genuine physical increase in early-onset tumor development. This presents a biological contradiction. The human genome remains stable over many generations. Our collective code does not mutate across the global population in a single 30-year span. If our baseline genetic code is roughly the same as it was 50 years ago, a radical shift in our external environment must be the trigger accelerating the disease. Every second, your body divides millions of cells. Sometimes a mutation occurs and your immune system catches it. But occasionally, a damaged cell escapes those repair mechanisms, multiplying into a chaotic cluster. Historically, it took decades for enough damage to accumulate. Our food environment has sped up that clock. Starting about half a century ago, many populations moved away from whole foods in favor of highly processed products engineered for convenience and shelf life. These refined carbohydrates and artificial additives trigger continuous, low-grade inflammation in the digestive tract while disrupting metabolic functions. This dietary overhaul runs parallel to a global surge in obesity rates among younger populations. Adipose tissue, or body fat, functions as a biologically active organ. As shown here, it releases chemical messengers and inflammatory hormones into the bloodstream, creating an environment that encourages erratic cellular division. Inside the digestive tract, trillions of bacteria act as primary regulators for the immune system, keeping inflammation in check. Modern interventions like widespread antibiotic use and artificial emulsifiers disrupt this delicate ecosystem. Essential microbes die off, stripping away the intestinal wall's defenses. Zooming out to the macro environment, we see the introduction of thousands of novel industrial chemicals, microplastics, and pollutants over the last century. Human biology is now forced to process an enormous volume of synthetic exposures, all hitting the body simultaneously. Scientists are finding that young bodies are developing cancer because they are struggling with the compounding effect of these stressors, which break down cellular repair mechanisms faster than the body can restore them. We are living through a period where our immediate surroundings, food and air, are changing faster than human evolution can keep up. However, your personal risk is not fixed. Because cancer typically requires a complex combination of these factors to take hold, you have the ability to change the variables. You can remove layers of risk. Prioritizing unprocessed whole foods, securing consistent sleep to support immune function, and reducing exposure to environmental toxins are direct ways to reinforce your body's defenses. It also requires proactive medical behavior. Track your family history. If something feels wrong, advocate for yourself and seek standard screenings, even if you are told you are too young to worry. These habits do not guarantee perfect health, but they dismantle the stack of environmental stressor. The modern environment is the core task of 21st century medicine.